What is up, everybody? It's Matt Johnson here. We are back with another episode of Real Estate Uncensored. This is the place where you get actionable ideas, insight, and inspiration to turn your real estate career into a life of freedom. We are taking questions today. Our guest, Seth Price, we're going to talk about his new book, The Road to Recognition, which we're actually still going to talk about a little bit, but sadly, not with Seth. We're going to talk about it behind his back and say good things about it because it's really good and you should go buy it. I believe it came out yesterday on Valentine's Day. So as you're listening to this, this is February 15th of 2017. So we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff. We're going to take some questions. We're going to talk about maybe a little bit about KW Family Reunion, which I just got back from today. But before we do all that, let's join the Junior Grandmaster himself in the co-pilot seat, as always, Greg McDaniel. Greg, what's up?
Matt, dude, it is so good to be here. You know, you and I are riffing off of air, and I gotta tell you, dude, you are having some amazing experiences. So we're so grateful to all of our listeners. Matt was at Family Reunion, and a lot of you guys came up and were saying hi to him and hanging out with him. It was the first time he didn't even have to use Perel out in public, you guys. This was a momentous event for Matt to be in. Germs.
So really, I'm now let's see, I'm married. I have 3 obese diabetic children. I'm what is that, agoraphobe? I can't leave the house. I can't be around people, and I'm also a germaphobe now.
Yeah, you're fucked. Your social life is going to take a big nosedive.
Yeah, that would be very inhibitive.
Oh my gosh, you guys, thanks for joining us. I was contacted yesterday by Mike Wall. So Mike, boom, knuckles to you, man. Thank you so much for reaching out to me yesterday. We are now going to be going live into his group, which is going to be Elite Expireds. So all of you Elite Expireds that are looking at us right now and going, who in the hell are these idiots? Well, you can blame Mike for that. But we're here. We're going to bring some knowledge to you. We're Real Estate Uncensored. We're a podcast of 2 clowns that love to have fun and bring education to the masses. You know, basically Robin Hood. You know, taken from the rich, given to the needy at zero cost. So you guys latch onto us like a sucker fish and hang on for the ride. It's going to be a hell of a good time. But Matt, today we started off with a question, right? And you know,
you sent the question to me beforehand. We haven't actually told people what the question is.
I know. I dictated to you. I said, Matt, we're doing this question. You had nothing but, okay, Greg, I'll do it because you said so. Which in the reality is like, bitch, I'll do it because I want to, not because I'm being told to.
Yeah, I could just start talking and not let you cover that question because I've got another one here chambered, but go ahead.
Go. Okay, so the question here, guys, is how do you handle the no solicitation signs when you're doing doors? Or actually no solicit when people tell you not to solicit them. So Usually, Matt, you ask the question, then I answer. But Matt, we're going to reverse it. So Matt, how would you handle it? And then I'll give my 2 cents.
Let's see. The no solicitation sign on the door when I'm door knocking, correct? That's the scenario?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I would say, first of all, if I'm going strictly to like offer information, delivering some good news or letting people know, hey, there's going to be an open house on Sunday, so I just wanted to apologize in advance if there's traffic or if people are kind of parking. Like there's ways you can spin it to where you are giving information / bringing value / giving yourself a giant pat on the back for your giant open house you're about to hold. You know what I'm saying? Where you can get away with and still knock on the door and not come across like a solicitation and say, look, this is informational. I'm letting them know about something that's going on in the neighborhood. I'm not asking for anything. I'm not selling anything, which if that's true, if that's your intent, then I see nothing wrong with going up and knocking on the door of somebody that has that sign up. Because you just never know. They could have put that up 20 years ago when they were in a bad mood and one of their obese children went to the hospital and they were just not feeling it. They're like tagging that up, going, I don't want to see anybody ever again.
Diabetic attack, those little bastards.
Right.
So what I've done out there, door knocking, guys. So if you guys are just getting to know me, I started my career door knocking because I was such a delinquent douchebag coming out of college. Well, lack thereof college. 2 years of drugs, alcohol, and women, which I call college. Most people call a bad trip to nowhere. But I would just start when I saw a no solicitation sign. I did not faze me. The reason why is because I am not selling a damn thing. I am not saying, Matt, I have a handy dandy pin for you right here, sir. You can buy it for this low price today. And if you buy 2, you get the 3rd one free. No, I'm not selling anything. I'm always just bringing information. So if someone wants to really break down the word solicitation, it is sales. I am not selling. I am information providing. So therefore, if someone says, can't you read, asshole? It says no solicitations. I say, I actually do this because I'm dyslexic. I say, well, actually, sir, I'm dyslexic. I couldn't really read that word. And they would always stop and be like, huh? Oh, crap, I feel like a dick. But not everybody can say that. So I would just say, I do understand that. And I know that's why I'm knocking on your front door, because I am not soliciting any kind of services. I'm just giving you information about a home that's sale, pending, or sold, or open house, or whatever the scenario is, or that I have a buyer that's coming into the area that I need help from. Can you pass off, information about a neighbor? That's what I do. I actually had a guy a number of years ago. He was so scared of going door knocking, and especially the no solicitation signs. I would go out there with him. Actually, I went out there with him, and I just started knocking on doors, and I showed him that at no point was it scary or bad or harmful or anything else to go out and hit the doors. And the people that were behind the no solicitation signs, they were some of the nicest people there. All you have to do is one of the best ways to disarm someone, guys, is a big old smile. How y'all doing? I don't know why I just went to the South. But
so TJ agrees. Here earlier he commented, all right. So apparently you're all feeling in a very Southern Matthew McConaughey mood today.
Yes.
Do you watch some Lincoln commercials before you showed up for the show today?
Maybe. Know what I like about them girls, Matt? I get older, but they stay the same age. All right.
All right, Manny says, but Greg, you're selling yourself and you're a good buy. So that's very nice of Manny to say.
Thank you, Manny.
So I would say don't encourage him. But anyway, Eric says, check city enforcement. One of my cities requires a $75 6-month license. They would also consider the information update as a finance offense. I don't know about that. Finance offense, and informing somebody that a house just sold around the corner and giving them some publicly available MLS details that they can look up on Zillow. I kind of doubt that.
But the thing is, Eric, on that, yeah, guys, Eric does have a point, though. Some cities do require a license to go door knocking and a permit. Right. So make sure you're not breaking the law so you don't get the cops rolling up on you, which I've had happen, which is very interesting.
Right.
Just pull out my actual license, and then my real estate license. Start. Oh, okay, you're cool. So check your regulations and then go for it. Just go pound on people's doors. Yes, Kara, that's exactly right. Just go pound on the damn door.
That's right. All right, so let's get another call in while we're kind of in the same topic of being out in the neighborhood. So this is from the lead gen scripts and objections. It's David Swabatian, I believe, and I'm sure I'm butchering that to a certain extent, but I apologize. David says, hey, agents, my first question here. I need help with one of my pillars of lead generating. First of all, he's on the right track. He's got more than one pillar, thank God.
Yes.
So his pillar that he asked a question on is farming. Says, I've been actively sending out these neighborhood news updates to my farm of about 1,500 doors for the last year and a half. Only got 4 listings to date. I want to know what I can do to improve my numbers. About 50 homes sell in my farm area every 12 months. So he's getting, 6 or 7% market share so far, and he's only been pounding it for a year and a half. It's not bad. He says, I drop in my farm once every month. I try to do open houses if possible and cold call it every month. The monthly drops are all branded. It's always the same information, which is most recent solds in the last 30 days in the same city. What other content can I add that homeowners would find interesting that would make them more likely to call me versus other people?
That's the same thing I just did a few minutes ago. What I did is I went on to homesnap.com, went up to the top, and I started doing reviews of the different cities that we're selling, pros and cons, price reductions versus price increases, how long on the market, what's the inventory absorption rate, what's the health rating, what's the average price. And I just kind of went through all the different cities, jumped around. I went super macro. I went out to the full Bay Area. Then I went into Contra Costa County, where I am, went to our neighboring county, Alameda County. Then I broke it down to the cities. I kind of went, I think I went all bass backwards on it because it was my first time. But I'm like, how can I reach a lot of people at no cost and that way? And that's exactly what I did. And I got a lot of comments and thumbs up, and people seem to like it. So I would highly recommend doing that. Also, what I would do is go over to iWriter.com, and I'll put a link into it for you guys here. Here are their pricing on everything. And you can go in, you can hire a writer for as little as like $5. I wouldn't recommend it. They're going to be dog shit writers. But, you can pay, $12-15 for an article, 400, 500, 700 words. It's pretty decently written, and get the information from a HomeSnap or your MLS or some source. Give it to the writer. They will transform it into an article. If you need more information, please contact Greg McDaniel at 925-915-1978 about the market. Take those articles and give them to every single micro newspaper and publication in town so they can get free content, and you have not an ad, but you have information that will be relevant to the readers of those articles. I was actually in the shower this morning, and all of a sudden I'm like sitting there thinking, I'm like, how in the hell can I get more now business? Holy shit, why am I not doing this? Wait a minute, Matt's going to criticize me. Fuck Matt, I don't care. I'm going to do it anyways.
Wait, all right. Now you're hanging me out here to dry. Now, why would I criticize you? Besides the fact that this is going to be a dumb idea, which if it is, then I'll criticize you.
It's not a dumb idea, Dick.
Well, lay it on me.
Good idea. Okay,
all right.
That's the idea. So you go get information. So for Alamo, there's an Alamo Today magazine, and that's one of my primary markets. It goes out to all the residents in Alamo. It's also in coffee shops and everything else. They're always looking for content, right? So I have a nicely written article by a ghostwriter. Looks like it's being written for me about the overall marketplace and how it's doing. You can go and compare it against a couple of other sites. You can get the information, right? And then you can write articles about the city, give it to the publication, and say, here's free content about what the real estate market is doing. Would that be valuable to you? And I don't look for any, I don't want for any payment for giving that information. I just want to give articles out. It's not a dumb idea, damn it. It's a good idea.
Well, I mean, but here's the thing you got to keep in mind, and this is part of why I brought this question up, which is this, because we're going to talk to Seth about this, right? Just what is the role of content? And I experienced this firsthand myself, right? So I show up to family reunion, and I was telling Greg this before we hopped on the show. Literally every single time I got in an elevator, somebody recognized me or recognized the voice or whatever, knew who we were from the podcast. It makes conversations easier. But you actually have to have the conversations, right? So like part of David's question was, what can I put in there that will make them more likely to call me versus everyone else? Well, there's a multitude of things that you could add into the stuff that you're sending out to your farm, but ultimately it's about whether you can say something that makes you memorable enough so that when you're out in the farm door knocking or calling, that they remember you and the conversation is easier. That's the key. So, and the same thing when you put content online, right? So it's not going to generate now business, and this is my point, Greg. It's not going to generate now business if you don't follow it up with conversations. Content makes the conversations easier. It's still your responsibility to go out and have the conversation. So, for example, if you do something like that where you're posting content on Facebook, right? I was talking to Ronnie Phillip about this when we met, what was it, yesterday? So he's doing a phenomenal job of building his following and building relationships on Facebook by actively commenting, reaching out, and then following up with messaging people through Facebook Messenger and just kind of nurturing the relationship. And then when they make a move, either they've already committed that, hey, when I make a move, you're my guy, or he just looks for the needs. And when he sees somebody that's in kind of their circle that's going through a life change, he kind of angles an introduction, or he'll comment on somebody else's post and use that as a way to start a conversation with somebody that's in his extended network, and just get that conversation going, and then they'll end up friend requesting him, and then they'll start getting all of his content, right? So that's where content fits into this whole ecosystem. It's about making the conversations easier, but you actually still have to then go and have the conversations.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. That's why you can put the phone number at the bottom. Maybe you can put, follow me on Facebook, look for this if you want to get more of this kind of information. I totally agree. It's a starting point. It's not the start and stop point. And that is a critical part of it. And Caitlin's asking us to answer a question about vacant land. Do you have any idea what she's talking about?
I do. It was Walter's question, which is just what are your ideas about marketing vacant land? Well, first of all, let's start with just the classic, right? So before you figure out what the medium and what the message is, who's the market? So Greg, what's the market for vacant land? Who buys a piece of vacant land?
Builders, developers, ranchers, people who want to run cattle or grow crops or whatever it goes on in that area, right? Shit, go put a oil well on. I don't know. But I mean, the easy way to go get a hold of the vacant owner's information is you go to county, and you pull all the vacant land that don't have any permits pulled on them, or maybe you can, however you want to do it, and then you can get the owner's information there. They're happy to give you that information at the county or city level because, one, if they can get that land and put something on it, then they're going to get more taxes. So the city wants to make more money. You want to make a deal. Maybe you can help the seller move forward from a certain point wherever they are in that piece of property, and say, look, Mr. or Mrs. Property owner, if I'm able to bring you a willing and able buyer, would you be interested in selling? Then you go take that information and you go give it back out to developers and home builders.
Yeah,
say,
and that's the part Walter's asking about. So he's already taken the listing, is the sense that I get. Now he's done a 360 video tour, he said. So now he's looking for what is the next step.
Wait a minute.
Right.
Walter, was that in Miami? Was that today? Not sure if I was watching that.
Well, it's a video of Walter standing in an open field. Like, are you sure? Is that the same one we're talking about? With that piece of vacant land?
Walter, where is it? Are you live? Tell me where this thing is, because I was watching a guy shoot a live video today on Instagram,
Okay.
For an $11 million lot in Miami.
Ooh. Okay.
Dude, that's some expensive shit.
Yes. So, all right. So if it's an $11 million piece of land, it's somewhere, it's good location, and it's
Miami
probably
on the water.
subdividable into residential.
No,
So
it's Miami. You can build like a $30 million home on it, and you can do that for that piece of property. But check with the county and see what you can do with that piece of property. First off, what is it zoned for, and can it be rezoned into something else? So if it's ag, can you take it out of ag and put it into residential or high density residential? What can you do with this? Then you take it to the builder. Go to the Home Builders Association, get the breakdown of what builders are building in your area. Or if you really want to make it really freaking easy, go on to Zillow, go look for new homes, go see what home builders are building, and go, I got lots. Who's buying? That's about as hard as it is.
Okay. That's a good idea. I like that. All right. So a couple comments. So Walter says, first of all, he's in SoCal. The land is only $1 million. And he said, yes, I figured I would call companies and manufacturers. So he's on the right track. Mm-hmm. It really is just, here's what my suspicion would be, is that you may have to partner with somebody that has some experience in this, because my bet is that you would have to, either you already have the developer and builder connections, or you need someone, you want to go, if you don't know somebody and you feel like they might be a good buyer and you're dealing with that level, it's all a relationship business. So you want to look for the people that have the relationships and go in through the relationship. So you may have to partner with somebody that already has the relationships, and they might have the experience to know exactly what that piece of land is ideally used for and how it can be packaged. Because I heard somebody, who was it? It was in a book I was just reading the other day.
Well, that's not
even when investors pick stocks, it was Chris Lockhead's book. It was Play Bigger. For those of you that don't know, I just launched a new podcast with a client named Chris Lockhead called Legends and Losers. Go check it out on iTunes right now. It's phenomenal. But he wrote in his book that investors on Wall Street, even when they're picking stocks, will ask, what's the story? And that's a market where it's supposed to be all about the numbers, right? Even then, they're asking, what's the story of the company behind this stock? So my question would be, okay, you've got this piece of vacant land, right? It's like a stock. Well, what's the story behind it? What's the story that you're going to sell that builder or developer on, in terms of what can it become? What's it going to do for their reputation? What's it going to do for them in terms of finding the right buyers, because the location is so amazing? Like, you got to figure out like what the story is there. And you may have to partner with somebody that has more experience that can help you develop that story and has the relationships with the people that will buy that story and then go buy the land, if that makes sense. So
it does. But another thing you can do is you take it out to title reps and lenders that specifically deal with raw land and say, hey, who do you know that would buy, that would be in the market for this type of land? Now, I'm telling you guys, developers like home builders and stuff like that, they are craving product that has not been shopped around a million times. We had a home builder on our show early last year, Matt. His name was Matt as well. And he was talking about the same thing.
Name.
Oh, strong like bull.
Strong,
yes.
That's right. Solid as the day is long.
That's trustworthy as the day is long. That's solid. But I mean, that's you would take it out to that. It's another way you can build relationships. And yes, Matt, you've got a great idea on partnering with someone. If this is your first time doing it, get it in writing. I was having a discussion with someone on Facebook today about how they're kind of getting a little bit foobarred by another agent who went around them. And I'm like, was it in writing? They're like, no. I'm like, well, there's your problem. Get it in writing at all times. Even if you trust them, get it in writing, and then learn from them. I mean, shit, don't reinvent the damn wheel. Don't trip, fall, and land on your face. Go take 50% and give 50% and have a massive learning curve. And then, maybe they could be an asset for you down the road in different avenues, but they're going to want to work with you because you came to them and helped them make money. Like, I'm helping a young gal. She's out of the Central Valley. She's a fan of the show. And we are going to partner we're going to go on a listing appointment next week on a $2 million home that she found by doing calls. She has never done a $2 million home. So I'm like, I'll do it with you. We both make some money. We'll do it 50-50 across the board. And she's going to get a great learning curve because she's going to see how our team works, how the intricacy of the whole process happens. So I'd highly recommend that. But Thomas, I want to answer your question really quick, man. I do calls around all properties that are in my marketplace. I don't just do my listings or my team's listings. or a brokerage. I go into the market. I go into the MLS daily, and so does Midori, who's out sick again. And we'll find the biggest success story of what, from the listing price to sales price in the shortest amount of time, and go call around it. She found one that was $95,000 over the list price. I mean, our property that we just brought on for $1.7 million last week, dude, we sold it for a ridiculous amount over the listing price. I can't tell you because it's pending. But holy Christ, I mean, so that's a success story. So go find those and sing the praises. If they ask you if you sold the home, no, I'm really sorry, we didn't get the opportunity to, but gosh, it was a great listing. It was Matt Johnson's listing over at ABC Realty. Give credit.
Good friend of mine. Good guy. Good. Solid.
Homeboy.
Strong bull. All right. So, all right. Well, let's talk about partnering for a second, because so I interviewed. Well, I set up an interview with one of my guys and Patrick Lilly, right? Patrick Lilly's been on the show before.
Yeah.
Patrick sells multi-million-dollar condos in Manhattan and Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So guess what he did? How in the world do you go from just living there and selling like $500,000 condos or $1 million condos, which are like you can touch each wall just standing in the center of New York City, right? How do you go from that to selling 10, 15, $20 million condos? Well, guess what? What did Patrick do? He partnered up with somebody.
Oh my God, I don't know. You tell me.
So he got an opportunity to go in for a listing appointment. So he says, all right, I'm going to be smart about this. He reached out to a gal that he knew and had good dealings with in the past, just, networking and stuff like that. He reached out to her. She already worked those markets and knew those neighborhoods and had some relationships. So he reached out and just offered to split the listing with her. That got his feet in the door. It got him a success story. And then he was able to leverage that success story and start marketing and using it. And then he had that experience, right? So now the next time somebody goes in and says, well, Patrick, have you sold a listing of my caliber? Because they always want to know, like, have you sold? Yeah, you may have sold like a $10 million listing, but this is a $20 million listing. This is completely different. Oh, it's completely different. Yeah, exactly. This is a 5-bedroom condo, not a 3-bedroom condo, you troglodyte. So he was able to say yes, and here's the success, and here's the story, here's the client. You're welcome to reach out to them. But he got all the credit, and he got all the success, and half the pay, which, by the way, is a very nice paycheck. With none of the risk, right? Because he's reaching out and doing it with somebody that already knows the ropes and already has all the relationships. So I think people shoot themselves in the foot in 2 ways when it comes to partnerships. Number one is being not willing to partner with somebody in a scenario like that and not valuing the learning opportunity of partnering with somebody that knows a different market or a different area or a different price point better than you. The other one is the flip side of that, which is rushing into binding partnerships where you give up equity of your team or of a company or whatever way too quickly for an advantage that's only temporary. I see a lot of people going in like Greg, you and I back in the day when we were kind of tinkering around with coaching. Remember that gal that she ended up wanting to partner with somebody else on a Boomtown account, $1,500 a month, not even counting ad spend, but they're going to go in on it together and they're going to do farming together. Now they have no regard for what their individual strengths were. There's no team leader because it's just a lateral partnership. Like I was like, holy cow, this is like bound for failure. And so those are
train accident.
Oh my God, yes. And people set themselves up for that all the time because they think they're going to get like an advantage. They think they're going to get more leads or they're going to get someone to like split the cost of lead generation and stuff like that. Most of the time, those situations are not worth it. And you always want to hold on to as much equity as possible, except in those cases where you can temporarily partner with somebody for the learning experience.
The learning experience is critical. I mean, I always tell that instead of going to college, I had $25,000 mistakes. So if I was to screw up a $1 million listing or buyer for my team because of arrogance and lack of knowledge, whatever it's going to be, well, then I had a $25,000 learning experience. And you don't want to have that many of those experiences. They really suck. All right.
Yes, they do.
And my father and my business partner and my team would quickly run to my side and prop me back up like the limp noodle that I was in the very beginning and keep me on the so-called straight and narrow. They didn't do so good a job on that one, but keep me moving down. And it was because I sat and learned from their feet. I would listen like a dry sponge, man, just sucking everything up I possibly could. Verbiage, techniques, scripts, styles. I mean, all this stuff is a compilation of learning from those two men for years and years and years. So I think we beat that horse to death. Go fucking partner.
All right. So Manny DeSilvia says, open house. When somebody tells you they have an agent, do you ask if they have the agent's card and get the name and let the agent know that they came by the home?
You can, but that might be there's no problem with it. I mean,
only you get the name. It's soliciting, right?
No, well, I mean,
it was going to be a little bitch about it.
Yeah, all you do is just go and say, hey, look, one of our Ron Gotti, a great agent, he and his son here are in the office. He does this to us all the time, which is a good thing. I'm patting. Good job, Ron.
Oh, okay.
What he does is he'll come into the office on Monday morning and be like, hey, Greg, I just want to let you know your buyers came through my open house. I think you should give them a call. They seem really interested. I'm like, thanks, Ron. He's done that like 2 times to us. It's super cool. So even if you don't get a card, just get the name. It's Matt Johnson with ABC Real Estate. Oh, okay, write it down. Matt Johnson, ABC Real Estate. If they're any kind of a good agent, they're going to be easily to find. Hey, Matt, got a phone. Hey, Matt, your buyers, Bob and June came through. You might want to give them a holler. They're super, super sweet. They had the greatest things to say about you. But I just want to give you a holler. We're having some pretty good interest. If you guys have any interest, I'd be happy to get any disclosures or reports over to you. Be an asset and a resource, because I'm going to remember that shit when it's flipped on its head. And if you were coming in with a buyer on another property, I would be like, hey, I remember this guy. He wouldn't try to steal my client. Shut up, marching band. God, it's like little elephants stomping around back there, little bastards.
There's a literal we can't hear anything, Greg, so that was like way out of nowhere.
There is a freaking marching band right outside that window.
Well, you have a really good microphone, so we can't hear it. All right.
They can't hear anything.
No.
It's loud, dude.
It's loud?
It's loud, dude.
No. Thank God for good microphones. Which is funny, because I have virtually the same microphone, but you can hear an ambulance going down the street like 7 blocks from here. Anyway. So Philip Mallon says, spoke to a lead for a client today, and the lady was not sure about listing because the home is still in probate. So the question is, can the widow sell it before the court has actually put her in charge of the house?
No.
Right? Yeah.
No. It's called breaking the law. Breaking the law. Yeah, you'd be doing that. So just wait for the probate to go through, wait till she's in charge, and then move forward with the sale. And don't try to manipulate her. If you try to manipulate her into a listing agreement, that's going to be under duress. Under duress will not be held up in a court of law. So just be a nice human being, build a relationship with the poor woman. She's going through a hard time in life.
Yeah. Fair point. I like it. All right. So I have nothing more to add to that. So I don't know much about probate deals and how all that stuff goes down. So anyway, let's talk about authenticity a little bit. So that is the first thing that Seth covers in his book, The Road to Recognition. So I just wanted to give him a quick plug because he was the original guest for today. Now that we heard
they heard that one.
We heard Eileen teasing in the background. We picked that up loud and clear.
See, she's right there. She's right there, right over there. She's just out of video. She's smiling. She's not mad at me.
Good. All right. So one of the things that you hear about and that we both hear about actually all the time, as far as the reason that people watch the show or listen to the show on iTunes, if you prefer to listen that way or whatever. But we hear
so deep in your ears.
Nestle deep in your ears. By the way, subscribe to the show on iTunes or Stitcher. Yeah. Just throw that out there. I mean, that seems like a good segue. Anyway.
And Matt. They have to follow us on Facebook.
Well, they do. They should.
Well, they have to. I mean, guys, if you're seeing this ugly mug or that really ugly mug.
I mean, 5,000 other cool kids are doing it. Who doesn't need to follow you, Greg?
That's what I'm saying, Matt. That's what I'm saying. There's a race to the top, and I need you guys' help. No, but seriously, go follow me on Facebook. You guys will be notified when this happens. I go live at other locations as well, doing other shows. Matt goes live doing other shows as well. Follow us, guys. And you can friend Matt. You can't friend me, but please follow me, and you'll be notified. To all you newcomers.
Greg McDaniel on Facebook. On Instagram, you are McDanielCallahan.realestate. And then I am even easier to find. I am pursuing results across all platforms. So
yes. Oh, hold on. What's up? Miss Stevie Hahn, world's greatest real estate agent, all Northern Florida, is here in our podcast today, Matt. And Stevie and I have a very exciting announcement. Okay. We are going to be doing a show together on if you guys watch this on the replay, like in a while, this doesn't mean shit to you, so just tune me out. But if you're watching it live, to pay attention, we're going to go live on February 20th, Monday at 4:30 Pacific Standard Time. We're going to be interviewing the owner, who's an ex-agent. She's the owner of All Things Real Estate, talking out-of-the-box marketing techniques that you guys can get, and all kinds of cool gear that they have for you guys at a ridiculously low price. So this is going to be awesome. So I got to give that shout out. It's going to be a freaking awesome show.
All right. Doug has a really good question here before we dive into some other stuff. I want to cover this real quick. So Doug Andrade, as a college student, most of my Facebook friends are young and aren't ready to buy or sell yet. I would like to do more Facebook Live sessions. So how would I get my videos out to the right people?
So what I would do, what I would highly recommend doing is I would shoot your Facebook Lives, right? Whatever the subject matter is going to be. Then take that video and I want you to use it as a Facebook ad. If you want to go to Fiverr, have a videographer go in and slice up some funny good parts or the beginning intro or or shoot short videos or whatever, but then shoot it out to the demographic that you want to be marketing to. Because if people see you doing something cool and different, I would definitely, that could be something that they would be able to watch, but make it short and sweet and to the point. Matt, there's probably some people you can probably talk on that, because we do a lot of, we cut up our videos and we do little like 2-minute little clips. But if you really want to stand out in the overall news feed, dude, go get a 360 camera, Insta360. I'll put the link in here. And yes, they have one for Android, one for iPhone, so they play nice with both sides. For $200 on Amazon, guys, this thing is a ridiculously cool thing. I got 4,500 views on my showcasing of our newest listing that we had in Westside Danville. People love this stuff. It's new, it's different, you stand out, and since it's live, well, 360 won't be live, but if it's live, it'll get out to a larger population. Ask people to follow you, ask people to share it, so on and so forth.
Yeah. So, Doug, let's go back to this, the issue as far as a college student, most of the Facebook friends are young and aren't ready to buy or sell yet. So I was talking with Ronnie Phillips, I should say. Philip? God, that's horrible. I can't remember if there's an S on the end of his name or not. So anyway, I was talking with Ronnie about this because he's 23 years old. He's doing a lot on Facebook Live and on Snapchat, right?
There's no S, by the way.
What's up?
There's no S.
Ronnie Phillip. Okay, good. So anyway, so we're talking about this. So what he's doing is he's doing a lot of Facebook Lives about not just real estate, but just success in general. And he really has a heart for reaching out to people that are about to go into college and not making the mistake of going to college for the sake of going to college and getting in debt. And so he talks about student loan debt. He took a snap of one of the slides at KW Family Reunion. It was about student loan debt. They were talking about the economy. All he did was just take a snap of that. So that got like 150 views or something like that on Snapchat. And then obviously reposting that to Facebook, and you could do a whole Facebook Live about that. But the point of this is that, look, content, right? Before you worry about how to get more people to hear what you have to say, having something to say is the more important thing to worry about. So if your friends are at the point where they're not ready to buy or sell yet, then you talk about the things that they care about right now. You still talk about real estate a little bit, but then you talk about, how to get on the right path to get where they want to go, to save up the money for a down payment, whatever the case is. And then you talk about and try to reach their parents and their older siblings that are ready to do something. Right. Mm-hmm. So you build that relationship with the people that are in your peer group, but then you say, hey, look, honestly, most of my clients are actually in their 30s and 40s. They are like second-time home buyers. Guys, if you know anybody in your family like that, I am your guy. Send them to me. We work really well together. And then obviously keep in mind when you're ready to do something. But you really got to hammer, talk about something that they care about, and then just hammer home the fact that you work with people that are in the older demographic. So send me those referrals, you know what I'm saying? And then meet before you're ready to go. But anyway, so I just wanted to contribute that and give Ronnie credit for that, because he's a brilliant young guy.
So, Ronnie, here's another one, my friend, and also this goes out to you, Walter, as well. All the people that are in college, getting out of college. Actually, I prefer in college, so Walter, this might be a little bit more for you. Go market directly to the parents of your friends or your classmates, and come to them with the idea going, hey, look, why pay for rent for your kid for 4 years at blank university? How about helping them buy a duplex, triplex, fourplex, where they can have the students pay for this? It'll be an asset that then the son or the daughter, when they leave that university, they can choose to sell that. The parents can make their initial cash back. Any additional equity can be gifted or given to the child to help either pay down school debt and or help maybe buy something of their own wherever they land. So it's another opportunity, because you'll get a 25% referral fee because it's not going to be in your area, but hey, it's a referral fee, man, all day, every day. Go on to Lead Gen Scripts and Objections. Just type in, who knows an agent in blah, blah city? Dude, you'll get a ton of solid referrals. And that would be something that you can start getting, business now if you're going to be in that age bracket. What?
I like it. That's interesting strategy. I like it.
Oh, good.
All right. So Walter says, hey, Doug, I'm in the same boat. Just out of high school, I do videos on common misconceptions that first-time homebuyers have. That is great content. That is a great idea. Yeah, that's. I mean, you might as well. You're going to have to clear it up at some point, so you might as well clear it up before they become horrible clients of yours and take you all over the town, showing you, making you go through about 35 different homes before they find the one that has the right paint color that they like.
Oh God, go down to freaking Lowe's and buy a can of paint, jackass. But here's something else to think about. The average first-time homebuyer guy only puts down 5%, not 20%. So inform your first-time homebuyers about that. Because if they're saving up for the 20, they don't need to. They can do a 5. They can do an FHA. Get into the home. If you have to put MI, mortgage insurance on it for a little bit, great. Get into the home, then refi it off a little bit later down the road. It'll get you into the home. Also, we're talking about clients that you don't know. You don't know if they're ever going to come around. Matt, I've told you the story that I had this client from hell. I mean, she was an absolute psycho bitch. I mean, it just drove me batshit crazy. About a year ago right now, I was working with her to buy a condo. She thought she was smarter than me. Of course, she wasn't. But I literally fired her, and I called her to her face. I'm like, so-and-so, you are literally #worst client ever. And the funny thing is that, dude, today, literally, or last night, she sent me a text, and she referred one of her friends out of the San Jose Police Department, and she just texted me back, and she's like, my friend Alex texted me and said, you know your shit, LOL, and texted me and thanked me for referring you. #worst client ever is referring you people.
Yes, and that goes back to authenticity, Greg, because you get away with stuff like that because that is who you are.
I'll call you out on your bullshit.
Yes, you will.
So quick, because if you're a fucking tard, I'm going to say, look, I can't hang out with tards.
If you're a tard.
#tard.
Oh my God. All right. So there was a really good question from Aaron, a good conversation starting question that I came across here in the group that I wanted to bring out real quick. So Aaron asked, what is your biggest area of weakness? Is it, number one, mindset, number two, time management, or both? So guys, I would love to have you put your comments on Facebook here below. But Greg, what do you feel like? I mean, I feel like you're pretty strong in both. What one did you actually have to work on the most to get down?
Good question. I would say it wasn't time management, because I knew, even though I'm not the smartest human being on the planet Earth, I knew that if I double booked myself, I would lose business, and I didn't want to lose business. So a simple way of doing it, go into Google Calendar, it attaches to everything, color code it, lock in things that are reoccurring, and that was an easy way, and I could fill in the gaps on places where I could fill in some gaps, buyers, showers, buying, selling, whatever it is. Okay. The one thing that I really worked on was mindset, and because we all have that drunk monkey on our shoulder that talks shit all day long to us, bashing bottles over our head, telling them we're not good enough, we can't do it, we don't have the experience, we don't have whatever it is, right? Mm-hmm. You can't attract that perfect girl, that perfect guy. You can't get that business. You can't work in the $1 million market, which is all fucking bullshit, by the way. Is only between your ears. That's a very dangerous, dirty place to be. So try to not spend too much time in there. So what I did, and what's really been working a lot, and I know a lot of you guys are going to think I'm woo-woo, crystal, incense burning weirdo. I'm not. But there's a thing called meridian tapping. This guy named Brad Yates on YouTube. I talk about him a lot. He leads you through a series of tapping modalities, just on different parts of your head, chin, chest, under the arm, back of head, all this other stuff. Are you just doing that like,
I had a splitting headache all day. So yes, it actually does feel good, just right there right there where the third eye should be.
Yes, exactly. And so what I did, guys, I do 3 tappings every morning, and it is uncanny how shit just shows up in my life. I do having an amazing day. I do being a client magnet, and then a quick little one on being a money magnet. Guys, there are things like, okay, Rima is a perfect example of that. When she happened, well, that's #worst client ever. Dude, I haven't talked about chicken forever. All of a sudden, out of the blue, yesterday night. I could just say last night, or yesterday. Which one?
It's yesterday in the evening.
Yes.
Toward the end of the fortnight.
The latter hours of the day.
Right.
But out of the blue, hit me up, goes, hey, I got a client for you. And
okay.
And I did a tapping about it. Today I did my days are radically different, and my mindset is so crystal clear. I know I'm on point, and I'm ready to do things, and I'm not afraid. Guys, I don't know what it is, but try it out. I'll put a thing in there for Brad. If you think I'm fucking weird, fine, I'm weird. If you want to give it a try, go give it a try. You will thank me for this if you give it a run. By the way, you will feel incredibly stupid when you do it. So do the first one when no one can see you. You'll probably you'll be happy about that.
Yeah. Well, let me take a question and then I'll answer that question from my perspective. So Anthony Harper says, I'm preparing to take my real estate exam and I'm wanting to know if it's a good idea to go ahead and build my website and create a logo. My 2 cents on it, absolutely. As far as building a website, fine, go to Playster, get something up. You won't have the IDX feed yet until you're a licensed agent, but by all means, go build a website, go build a simple one that kind of shows people who you are and what you're going to hopefully specialize in, because that's a very good question to start looking at now is what category within your real estate market are you going to carve out and dominate? If you don't have an idea of what that is yet, spend all of your time figuring that out. Besides the time that you spend studying to be an agent, because most of the stuff that you learn, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Greg.
You're wrong.
Go back. I am not wrong because I've taken the real estate exam. It's horrible. It doesn't teach you how to do your job. It is basically, hey, here's a bunch of stuff we'd like you to memorize because we would like to feel that we're important here at the California Board of Real Estate.
Yes, but it also is a wonderful.
What was that code number again? What was that code number?
Yeah,
because if you get that 0.1 or 0.2, man, you can't be a quality agent if you can't name the number of the code.
It's so stupid. It's so stupid.
Anyway, point being. Yes, nothing but the more important thing that you could be doing in the meantime in terms of like what should you be doing to kind of prime the pump for when you pull the trigger, you get your license and all of a sudden you're an agent, is start building the relationships now. Start sharing what you're learning. Start, learning about the market and sharing what you're learning about the market. Go to HomeSnap, go to neighborhoodscout.com, do all the stuff that Greg talks about, publicize it, share with people what you're learning, start looking at what you're going to specialize in and let people know what you're going to specialize in, what areas you want to work in, yada, yada, and just start priming the pump with the relationships. Build the relationships, reconnect with people that you went to high school with, went to middle school with, whatever. Like use Facebook, use Snapchat, use Instagram. Start building the following now, friending people, and start priming the pump so that when you flip the switch, you don't drop into your broker's office and go, okay, now where are all the clients? And they look at you and go, I thought you were bringing the clients. And like, well, I thought you were bringing the clients. Like, wait a minute, both of us showed up to the office and we thought the other one was bringing the clients? Like, that's the way it usually goes.
This sucks. You guys, I just clicked that, dropped a link in there for realtytimes.com. It's an information aggregator. And this is talking directly to clients and, the consumers. So you can start doing videos, reading articles, regurgitating it back out onto your forums, do a blog post on this stuff, whatever your medium is for getting it out. But that's an area where you can learn a lot about specific things in real estate, and you can educate the consumer so they understand the process of what's going on. Mm-hmm. That's another opportunity for you, but don't let grass grow under your feet. You've got to be hustling and grinding, because if you're not talking to your clients, someone else is, and that other person is gonna be able to reap the reward for just being out there and talking. So
Walter says memorize facts and then forget it all when you pass. 100% agree. Pop quiz, Civil Rights Act of, I'm going to guess 1964. Walter, tell me if I'm right on that or not. But getting back to Aaron's question, the biggest area of weakness of whether it's mindset or time management or both. So here's the interesting thing about that for me, Greg, and tell me if I'm a little right on this. They are intimately tied together, because the time management, once I really learned like real deal entrepreneurial time management from Frank at Viral, and I started to structure my day differently, it started to affect my perception of myself. It reinforced the steps that I was taking in my mindset. And because I managed my time in a certain way, like I felt more successful, and I started to feel like more like, oh, I belong in this world. I can run in this world. I'm not falling behind in this whole entrepreneurial world. I'm running with the big dogs, and I'm, at least in this area, like it may not show yet in the bank account. Like I'm not making $1.2 million a year working one day a week like Jeff Cohn, right? But I run my schedule right on point with those guys. So now I've developed a nice little reputation for myself in the industry, or at least the people that I work with and the people that they talk to, where they know I run my calendar at around 90 to 95%, right? So when I set something, I'm on point. It's my schedule is kind of like in 15-minute increments and all that stuff that we've talked about before. But anyway, point being, like it fed into the mindset part. But yeah, by far the most difficult part was the mindset work.
Yeah.
Out of those two things.
So here's a cycle that goes around, around and around. This can go for negative, this can go be for positive. And so we all think we have potential, right? And then it depends on what your actions are. So either you take no action or you take action. Once you get results from either not taking action or taking action, then you're going to go back and you're going to reinforce it and justify it to your subconscious mind and to yourself and the people around you are going to see it saying I can or I cannot do something. It's a horrible cycle if you do it with the negative cycle, because you will dig deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into believing that you cannot, should not, will not be able to accomplish whatever goal you're going for. Then you won't believe in yourself to time block it. If you don't time block it, then it never can get done. If you don't get it done, then it won't happen. Then you say, I told you it couldn't happen. Mm-hmm. So believe know that you have potential. Every one of you guys has a potential. The chances of you actually getting bored, we've talked about this, is 45 trillion to 1. Holy sheep shit. Dude, you are an original. There is a reason why the universe puts you on this giant circle, this giant rock floating in the middle of space. You have something to bring. So you have the potential. Take the action. Then when you get those results, go reaffirm yourself. Don't say, oh, well, gosh, I could have done it better, but I didn't do it all that well. Be like, bitch, I made that thing rock because I did this, and this right. Then you see the potential that you can do it, and then the cycle continues. Don't talk negative to yourself, and always remember to book things. So it's one of the biggest things. I have so many, like the McDaniel Challenge, guys, which is we're on pause, so don't be blowing me up until April 2018. But it's a 1-hour coaching that I give away for free. A lot of the times, Matt, it comes down to mindset. It's one of the biggest things that hinders agents because they don't think they have what it takes. They don't know the market well enough. So then they don't go out and prospect. They don't go into a top agent's territory because the top agent has said, get the fuck out of my territory. And they believe that to be true. They don't know where to start because they haven't found our podcast yet. And I just pity the fool that doesn't know the podcast.
That's right. It breaks my heart, Greg. It
breaks
really
my heart. Smallest violin ever. But I mean, they don't believe that someone somewhere told them they couldn't do it, or they believe they couldn't do it. And I break that with a sledgehammer, because every one of you can do this. And keep this in mind, guys. Success is rented, not owned. So if that agent is saying, all right, this is my turf, don't go in there. No. Until they show you property deeds, they own every single property. Okay, then I won't farm there. Legitimately, it's your area. You literally own it. But if they say that's their turf, no. That was someone's turf before they took it over. And it's going to be someone's turf after they leave the business. So fuck them, fuck their mind, and keep on moving forward, because you can go and crush them. Oh, go take our circle prospecting, our prospecting like a rock star course, and guys, and we'll show you how to break into marketplaces for little to no cost.
That's right. Just not now, because it's closed.
Yeah, no, not now.
We're in the middle of a course right now, so and we're working on something different for our next course. So just hang tight on that. But anyway, Walter asked tips to build a Facebook presence for better views on Facebook Live, and then corrected himself to Live, which is a much more popular service than Facebook Live. I don't know what that is. That's what would that be? Well, actually, that might, if it's anything like Facebook should come out with Facebook libations. It's just nothing but live video of people drinking on Facebook. That actually would be pretty fun.
Well, if you actually want to see that, you can go to facebook.com/live map, and you can go find some fool drinking in some part of the country. And like early last year when they first came out with that, I was just playing around. I just found it, and I found these 3 British chicks that were just wasted, and they were the most hilarious thing to watch. It was like a train accident you can't stop watching. I was like, wait, what was that word? Oh my god.
Man, now you realize you've gotten caught in the Venus flytrap of Facebook reality TV. It's the Facebook equivalent of the Kardashians.
No, don't say that.
So moving on. Walter says all the hipsters are talking about it. Man, exactly. All right, so tips to build a Facebook presence. My one suggestion is step away from the tactics of it for a second, right? So there's a lot of tactics, like you could do like Instagram lives leading up to your Facebook lives. And I would say probably one of the most important like tactical things you could do is just have a set time of day, certain times that you go live. Like Greg, everybody knows you go live at 4:30 after the show, a half hour after, to do your live lead gen, right? So people kind of have an expectation of when they can show up, and they know when the show is, they know when you're going to do your thing. Contrast that with Aaron, when nobody quite knows when he's going to go live, other than maybe some of his lead gen, but that's a 3-hour window. Nobody really knows when he's going live. So that's a very simple tactical thing you can do, is just set a time and let people know. But backing up a little bit, talk about things that people care about. That's probably the most important thing you can do to get more views is just you got to talk about what people care about. And you got to be relaxed and loose in yourself and do it enough to where you can be loose and be yourself on camera. And that takes a different amount of time for everybody. Greg, you and I were, for some reason, magically comfortable with it right off the bat. I have no idea why, but we were. I mean, you especially. I mean, you were on camera right from the beginning. I guess I had like a warm-up period of just being behind the camera for a little bit and then stepped in front of the camera with you. But like we just were like fish in water pretty much right off the bat. But that's not like that for everybody, but that you don't have to be. If that's not you, it's still just repetition. It's the same way radio DJs get good. You just do it over and over and over again. So anyway, get good at it. But man, you got to talk about what people care about, and you have to have something interesting to say. So you actually have to like read. See what other people are saying. At least pay attention to what's going on in your neighborhood, what businesses are opening. You got to figure out what people are talking about and talk about that.
Here's a really easy thing, guys. Either go to realtytimes.com and talk about real estate tips for buyers, sellers, homeowners, HOAs, renters, all kinds of shit. Or go into Pinterest and just talk about what you're interested in. An article or write-up. They have little infographics in there. Go pull stuff down. It's very easy to understand. It's very easy to find. You know what? If you're really big into car racing, dude, get out there and talk about car racing. Like Casella is all about, hot rod cars and stuff. Go do Facebook Lives of you at car shows or at a car museum and talking about the vehicle, showcasing your knowledge, but saying, hey, this is Greg McDaniel with J. Rockcliffe Realtors. And I just want to come and talk to you guys today. We're right in front of the brand new Ferrari, blah, blah, blah. Here's the owner of it, Mr. So-and-so. Can you tell me about Ferrari, blah, blah, blah? Yeah. And then you have the cool factor because it's a hot.
I feel bad for not going to the NAMM show, the National Association of Music. That's the big show where all the new like musical instruments are unveiled. I should have gone to that in January up in LA.
Yeah, you should have.
Damn it.
As long as you don't go to the National Association of Adult Film Stars. I don't think you want to associate yourself with that, Matt. That's not what I'm going for. Walter did point out that he's going to be right back. He's going to find 3 British chicks to promote his page. Party on. Love that. Manny has a good point. Big pet peeve is agents that do not place a contact phone number on the page. I'm assuming he means their website page. Do not be a secret agent. Give out at least 3 ways to get a hold of you. Yeah, you're exactly right. That's one of the things that Viral does when they go through and kind of redo somebody's brand is right up the top of their blog. What's your cell phone number? What's your office number? What's your email? Because the first thing you want people to be able to do when they come to your website or whatever is be able to get a hold of you. I have a calendar booking link so people can schedule a consultation with me through my website without having to call because I don't want to receive phone calls. I want to have scheduled phone calls, but I do have a link right on my website where they can schedule a consultation with me. So I intentionally throw up roadblocks to see if people are serious. You don't want to do that with buyers because you want to catch them when they're in the state of emotion when they want to talk about buying a house because otherwise they'll talk to the next person and you're out. Yeah, 100%. So more about, damn it, I had a really good idea and then I lost it, Matt.
That's all right. We got to wrap up the show anyway, so we'll just finish off with that.
Great. They're going to go without the pure knowledge that they need to.
I know. But they can go get more pure knowledge. So, like I said, guys, Seth Price was supposed to join us. His flight was delayed, and so he wasn't able to get back home and join us from his house. We're going to have him back on the show. But, guys, go check out his book, The Road to Recognition. It's just theroadtorecognition.com. It's really good. It's literally an A to Z guide on how to succeed with content marketing. So if you guys have questions about social media, that book will answer a lot of your questions. He talks about authenticity, design, followers, email, why email is still relevant, Google, influencers, and all kinds of good stuff. It's a really, really good book, so go check that out. And then obviously follow us. Follow Greg on Facebook. Follow him on Instagram. He is McDanielCallahan.realestate. I am pursuing results across all platforms. Frank Spalding is with us, man. Frank is with us in Expired Mastery, which I'm running with Aaron Wittenstein. He's kicking butt and taking names and is going to take some more expired listings. Walter says, I feel like I was the guest star. I had way too many questions. You did have a lot of questions, Walter, but they were good. That's why we kept featuring them. So, guys, if you have questions and they're good, like Walter had today, seriously, put them in the comments. Every time we're out here on Facebook Live, even if we have guests, we do try to answer as many of your questions while we're on the air with them, and we'll get their perspective too. So, guys, don't ever be shy. Reach out to us, friend us, follow us on every platform that we're on. Reach out to us. We love hearing from you guys. We love hearing what you're implementing from the show and what kind of results you're getting from it. Like I was talking with Ronnie the other day, and we're going to bring him on the show to share what he's doing, some of which he's learned from the show, some of which he's learned from Brian Casella and Colton Lindsay and guys like that. We're going to bring him on to share what he's doing that's working, and we'd love to bring you guys on in the future too. We just want to hear what you guys are doing. Lena says, what book again? It's theroadtorecognition.com.
And then what is the scheduling program that you use?
I use Calendly. So it's like calendar, but it ends with LY, Calendly. You can also use Time Trade or Schedule Once. Those are two other really good ones.
Yeah, I use
Calendly,
Time Trade.
I think, has a free one.
I used Time Trade for a while. So, guys, also please share this. Please share this on your pages and share this to other agents, guys. We are trying to get the word out for what we're doing, giving away knowledge, helping agents become the best versions of themselves in the professional realm. I can't help you in the personal side. I'm not a therapist, but we can help you on the real estate side, guys. So share us out. We want to be there as a resource for anything and everything that we can possibly do. On that note, Matt, guys, like I said, follow me. I love you beyond words. I want to see you guys succeed to the highest levels, and I want you guys to live the life of your dreams. So, Matt, what are we doing on Friday?
We are talking with Grant Wise, Facebook ads guru. We're going to talk about, we're going to do a deep dive into Facebook ads.
That is going to be some fun shit. Guys, put it on the calendar. Don't miss it. Until then, Matt, any last words?
No, that's all I got, guys. Thank you so much. Thanks to everybody that came up to me or chatted with me or met up with me at KW's family reunion. There are some people that we want to bring on the show from that event, and we're going to get you guys on. So I just want to thank you for hanging out and meeting up with me. And if you didn't get to meet up, I'm very sorry. I was not there for the entire event. We'll do something again next time. And then, yeah, guys, just join us on Friday, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern.
All right, guys. Peace out, ninjas. We're gone. We'll see you Friday. Bye.